Today's incident will wake up your soul. Please watch the incident till the end. When a Hafiz Quran girl died, dogs used to dig her grave and urinate on it, bark and do strange things which would embarrass the onlookers. After all, why did those dogs do this on the grave of this Hafiza? After hearing this sentence, all of you will also be shocked. There was a small village in Pakistan. The people of this village were very poor. There was a girl named Fatima who lived in it. She was very beautiful since childhood. When she was 4 years old, her father died in an accident. Now this girl had no one else in this world except an uncle and an aunt. But her aunt also refused to do her kaffa. Her uncle also had 4 children of his own. He was able to provide 2 meals a day to his children with great difficulty. The uncle could have kept this girl, but he was helpless at the hands of his wife. He could not keep his niece due to the fear of his wife. But there was an old woman in this village who used to feed herself by begging people. If her clothes were torn, she would have torn her clothes. When she used to go out, she used to beg for clothes from people. If she felt hungry, she would ask for roti from someone's house and take curry from someone's house. Sometimes she used to work in someone's house and bring a few rupees for herself. This is how she was making a living. This old woman had difficulty in hearing. This old woman was a kind-hearted person. The whole village knew her by the name of Amma Hajra. She was very noble. She had a small house which was made of mud. Now this old woman came to know that Fatima was an orphan girl, and no one in the whole village supported her. So she happily brought Fatima to her house and said that when Allah can support a beggar like me and can give me sustenance, then he will give me sustenance too. This old woman said that when I brought this girl with me, she was very scared and nervous. But Allah had special mercy on Fatima. She was punctual in namaz at the age of 4. I used to read namaz too. She was a sensible and composed girl. Fatima was naturally intelligent since childhood. The old lady would bring clay for her house, and Fatima would play with the clay and make small clay toys. One day, Fatima started saying to the old lady, "Amma, send me to madrasa to read Quran Pak too. I also want to read the Quran Pak." Hearing this from Fatima, old Amma Hajra started sending Fatima to madrasa because Fatima's mind had been very sharp since childhood. That is why she completed Quran Pak in her childhood itself, and Fatima had also memorized a few verses by heart. Due to her hobby, she memorized the Quran Pak. Fatima was very fond of religious education. Due to the narrow walls of the house, Fatima used to see the girls of Jamia coming and going every day. Well, in this way, Fatima became friends with a girl from Jamia. That girl would come to her house from Jamia with her friends and would also read clay toys. Fatima used to make toys and play with her. Her friend used to make Fatima memorize whatever she studied from Jamia. This is how Fatima started getting her religious education. And then, in a few years, Fatima understood the Holy Quran with complete translation and tafsir. With the help of her friend, Fatima also learnt to read and write Urdu. Fatima used to borrow books from her friends and read books by scholars. She had a lot of Islamic books which she used to read at night. She had knowledge as well as practice. She had a lot of knowledge. This old woman had brought up Fatima very well. When Fatima became an adult, her beauty was of immense magnitude. No one in the village was not aware of her beauty. Every woman had only one word on her tongue, that Fatima's beauty was no less than an angel. Fatima was so innocent that she had never seen anyone in the world. Not only this, the old woman had become very old. Due to her old age, she did not even go to people's houses to beg. Rather, people themselves used to help her. There was a very big Chowdhury in this village who was asking the old woman for Fatima's hand in marriage for his son. On this, the old woman said, "You know that your son is not worthy of my daughter." Chowdhury Sahib himself was a very good person. He did not argue much with the old woman and went back from there silently. There were very poor people in this village, so they could not educate their children in Jamia. Therefore, all the children used to come to Fatima to read the Holy Quran. Fatima used to tell the children about Islam along with the Holy Quran. When she was giving lessons to the children, a boy standing outside used to listen to her lesson every day. Whenever this boy wanted to see Fatima, she would be behind the curtain. This boy had fallen in love with Fatima. That boy also started following in the footsteps of Fatima. He also used to go 5 times a day. This boy had become a Namazi, and he wanted to send a marriage proposal to Fatima's house. He wanted to marry her, but he was handicapped in one hand, that is why he was afraid to send a proposal. The month of Muharram was about to start. Fatima started telling her mother, "Mother, I had to keep 10 fasts of Muharram. I would get up on my own, but if I am unable to get up due to a headache, please wake me up." Then one day it happened that it was the first day of Muharram. And this boy gets the news that Fatima is no more in this world. The boy said that this news was like he had died himself. He says, "How could I believe that Fatima is no more in this world, because only yesterday Fatima was teaching Quran Pak to the children, telling them about Muharram?" He ran and reached Fatima's house. Then really Fatima had left this world. His heart was pounding, and he wanted to cry, but he had no right to cry. He could not even cry in front of anyone, and what could he answer to the people there? People were attending the funeral. No one knew how this happened. How did this girl leave this world? Her mother was crying a lot. The old woman had raised a very small girl, and she left this world at a very young age. The old woman was telling everyone that she was very pious. But Fatima left this world on the first day of Muharram. Everyone was saying that she was a very pious girl. The boy kept crying and said that she left this world but left me crying. I have suffered the most. He started thinking that if I had told her what was in my heart, then this regret would not have been there in my heart. Now every day that boy would go to her grave and sit there for as long as he wanted and talk to her grave. One day, as usual, that boy went to Fatima's grave. Then this boy told me that when I sat on her grave, I was surprised to see the scene in front of me. A dog was urinating on Fatima's grave. He said that I hit the dog with a stone. I felt very bad about the dog's actions. Here, disrespecting a grave was considered very bad. Now I started cleaning the dirt from her grave very quickly. Now I cleaned her grave every day. I used to sit there for a long time. If someone saw me, I would run away from there. Earlier, I used to go to her grave secretly, but now I used to sit on her grave openly because I loved her, and now she had left this world. Now what was the harm in this? Everyone started talking about Fatima in the neighborhood. It is possible that Fatima had some connection with this boy, but I used to listen to people quietly. I loved Fatima, so I used to go to her grave every day and recite the Holy Quran and pray so that her soul could get rewards. She was already very pious. Maybe she had to go to heaven. But if you want to give a gift to someone after death, then what better gift than this? What gift can be more than reading the Holy Quran for her blessings? Now, dogs used to come to her grave every day and do the same dirty acts. I used to be surprised to see that there are so many other graves, but dogs do not go to this one. I used to remove the dogs from there every day and clean the grave, but these did not seem to be ordinary dogs. They seemed to be wild dogs. Sometimes such a foul smell used to come from her grave that it became difficult to even sit there. Ours was a small village, and due to this, news had spread throughout the whole village. The Sarpanch and the elders had come to know, why do dogs do dirty acts on the grave of the noble girl Hafiza every day? Despite forbidding the dogs 1,000,000 times, they did not stop. One day, the elders of the village were talking that it seems that the girl must have committed some crime, which is why this is happening with her grave. There are many other graves in the graveyard. Such a case has never occurred in other graves. One man went to the Sarpanch and said, "I'm sure that this girl is a noble girl. The woman in our house said that she was the most beautiful girl in the village. Anyway, there was no man in the house, there was just an old woman who could neither see nor hear properly. There were no walls outside her house. That man started saying that Sarpanch Sahab, some crimes are such that you get the punishment for them only after death. I think this girl was wicked. If she was so beautiful, how could she be good? If she committed a crime, she would have done it behind the curtain. That boy was listening to all these people and was thinking, I don't understand why people have such a dirty tongue. When the whole village was gathered, the villagers started saying that who knows, she might have committed a big crime. So that the punishment for her crime does not put the whole village in trouble, we have to find out what the matter is. Only that old woman can answer this question. The children to whom that girl used to teach the Holy Quran said that they never saw any flaw or mistake in her. But in this village, such things used to happen that the matter was of someone else and someone else was called. Now in this case, this boy was also called, who used to sit on her grave and cry day and night. People started saying that maybe he was having an affair with her. The Sarpanch had called a panchayat after gathering the people of the whole village. Now this boy was made to stand in front of everyone. They started asking him questions. This boy started saying, yes, it is true that I sit on her grave and cry because I love this girl very much. But I never told her this, and she also never saw me, and I also never saw her. All the people sitting there started shouting that all this was happening because of you. She did this to you. He must have committed a crime. The boy started shouting that she was a good girl and didn't blame her. I swear that I did not have any kind of relationship with her. She just liked me. And I know that I am not worthy of her. That is why I never sent any proposal to her house. I never tried to talk to her. Some people sitting there testified in my favor that no, it does not seem that this boy is lying, and it is not wrong to love someone. It seems that he has not done anything wrong. Some people said that there must be many boys like him who would love Fatima. Panchayat was being held again and again in the village. The matter was getting worse. Today, a very handsome boy came to this panchayat, whom I had never seen before. When I asked about this boy, who is he told me that this boy was the son of Chaudhary Sahab. I started thinking that Chaudhary Sahab's son was very handsome. If Fatima was alive, she would have probably been with him. She would have been capable because Fatima herself was so beautiful that it would not have looked good at all if an ordinary boy had stood with her. But this Chaudhary's son looked angry. The Sarpanch was repeatedly asking for advice from Chaudhary's son, while I felt that this boy I was not able to understand anything because I had heard that this boy had come from abroad after studying. Well, the matter of the panchayat remained calm for a few days, but now the dogs started doing even worse things with Fatima's grave. Now a very foul smell had started coming from near her grave. No one would go near her grave. Then this brave boy who loved Fatima could not see the disrespect towards Fatima's grave. He got the grave cemented, and every day he would light incense sticks and put flowers on her grave. But even then the routine of the dogs did not change. One day in the morning, when he came to put flowers on the grave, he was surprised to see the scene in front of him. He had got the grave cemented, but it seemed that it was already worn out, that the grave had been broken and the grave had emerged. Now people had started saying that the grave was going to burst. Now everyone was convinced that the matter had gone too far. Now only the old woman who had brought up Fatima could answer these questions. The boy said that we all went to this mother and she started crying. She was at the mercy of people. If someone gave her food, she would have eaten it. Fatima's mother started praising her and said that if she was not pious, then why would she have died in Muharram? All the people standing there started saying that mother and many other people died in Muharram. This does not mean that all of them are pious. Who knows how many people die in a day? Someone dies on 12 Rabiul Awal. Someone dies on the day of Hajj, and someone dies on the holy night of Ramzan. This does not mean at all that all of them are pious. You should do such that we get our daughter's room. Let me show you. The old woman started crying and said that I have not touched this room from that day till today. Its memories are there. I have kept the room locked. The Sarpanch, and all the people of the locality started saying that we will have to open the room and see. Only then the truth will come out. Despite the old woman's refusal, they opened the door of the room with vehemence when they entered inside. The things inside were kept in such a way that there was an old bed, a cot, a trunk. Inside the trunk there were a few clothes. Apart from this, what else could she have? She was a girl from a poor family. A bedsheet was spread on the bed. It was very wrinkled. There was a broken glass bangle, but this bed did not seem to prove anything when it was seen under the bed. When they looked under the bed, they found a precious thing underneath it. Everyone was surprised to see that the girl was very poor. From where did she get such a precious thing? One man took the thing and brought it in front of the sarpanch and showed it. It was a gold chain. On seeing this, the first question asked was, how did Fatima die? This old woman said that Fatima was sleeping in her room after getting tired. I also used to sleep in this room with her, but on that day I fell asleep in the courtyard outside. I slept there. When I saw that the sun was about to rise, I went to Fatima's room. When I tried to wake her up, I saw that Fatima was lifeless. There was no movement in her body. I went to my neighbor, screaming. When my neighbor came and saw, he said that her heart had stopped. Hearing this, everyone started thinking, how did this happen? We don't know anything about how Fatima suddenly left this world. One of the men said, I have understood the whole matter, but first of all we have to find out whose precious chain is this. The next day a panchayat was held. The decision of the sarpanch was awaited. Chaudhry Sahab also came, but his son had not come. All the people sitting there started saying that this girl did not have the support of her parents, and neither did she have any brother. She used to teach the Quran to poor children. Then how did she get such a precious chain worth thousands of rupees? That too a chain. Then people also said that who knows, someone might have gifted it to her, and such things are only with rich people. If someone had gifted it to her, then she would have hidden it in a box. Why would she find it lying on the ground like this? Because some were saying one thing and some were saying another. One boy was very intelligent among them and was saying that I have understood the matter. He said, give me time till tomorrow and I will separate the truth from the truth. Then next day in the evening, a panchayat was held. Sarpanch Sahab also came and Chaudhry Sahab also came, and their son also came when this man stood up and said, I have come to know whose chain this is. All the people sitting there were making fun of her and defaming her. That girl was completely innocent. This chain belongs to this man who has sent Fatima away from this world and has played with her dignity. Fatima should not be able to tell this to anyone else. That is why this person took her life and finished her off. And that dirty person is also present in this panchayat at this time. He started saying that this chain belonged to none other than Chaudhry Sahab's son, Fadli, because no one else in the village could have such an expensive chain. It has been bought from a foreign country. Chaudhry Sahab was a justice-loving person. He might have tried to save his son, but the matter had come out in the open. Chaudhry Sahab asked his son Fads and he agreed. He stood up in front of everyone and said angrily that yes, I had my eyes on Fatima. I even sent a marriage proposal to her house, but she did not listen to me. She agreed and started telling me straight away that you are rich and you have no dignity. I am poor, but I am respected in the whole village. I am a respectable girl. I can never have a relationship with you. Even if you send a marriage proposal to my house, I can never marry a person like you because Fatima was well aware of his antics. He started saying that this girl had insulted me a lot. She had refused me. She had challenged my pride. That is why I did all this to her. I started defaming her even after her death. The one who used to send his pet dogs to her grave. And I had also trained these dogs. I went to Fatima's house at midnight in anger and fire of revenge. Her old mother, who was hard of hearing, was sleeping outside in the courtyard. That is why this old woman did not know what was happening to her daughter. I wanted to ruin this girl's respect. At that very moment, this girl went into prostration, and my chain became a noose around my neck. With great difficulty, I removed it from my neck and threw it away. Then I strangled Fatima and sent her away from this world. If I had not done so, she would defame me. The boy who loved Fatima, when he heard all this, tried to beat this boy as much as he could in front of everyone. Chaudhry Sahab said that I will do justice to him myself. Chaudhry Sahab presented his son in front of the villagers and said, "You tell me what should be his punishment." Some people started saying that he should be hanged. Some people were saying that he should be forgiven because of Chaudhry Sahab's words. But Chaudhry Sahab punished his son by forcefully marrying him to a poor girl of the same village, and said that if even a little injustice was done to this girl, then my son would be responsible for it. He was ordered to work with the labourers. Now, every day he used to work with the labourers, and the responsibility of all the arrangements of this old lady's house, food and drink, was also given to him. Chaudhry Sahib started saying that this is the only way I can see to set my son right. Now, slowly, Chaudhry Sahib's son Faha was getting better because his wife, who was Fatima, was a very good friend of Fatima. She was also a pious girl. This girl was the same friend of Fatima through whom Fatima had completed her religious education. Chaudhry Sahib's son had realized his sins. He went to Fatima's grave and asked forgiveness from her by crying. Now he had become a 5-time namaz. Now he also built a very big jamia which he named Binte Fatima, and in this jamia his wife started teaching children. Now the whole village was happy with this. Indeed, Allah never disgraces his pious servants. Allah Ta'ala did not let the honor of this girl be tarnished even after her death, and exposed the culprit in front of everyone. We pray to Allah that Allah may grant us the ability to do good deeds and avoid sins. Amen, O Rabbul Alameen, dear friends. We hope that you people liked today's incident. Share your valuable opinion. Express your feelings in the comment box, like the video, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you are new to our channel, then subscribe to our channel and select the bell notification on all so that you can get notifications of our videos. See you with some other good topics and some other good video. Till then.